Hey everybody, it's another Wednesday and I am out hiking again, and this time hiked through the forest down into this ravine that goes all the way down to a beautiful stream down where there's an old gold mine over here. Let me see if I can turn and you can see it behind me. It's all collapsed. I don't know if it shows up. Maybe you can see the twisted metal that they use dynamite to blast it shut, keep the kids out of it. That sun is bright, huh? It's actually a pretty nice day for November. Just want to do another video and say hi to everybody and talk a little bit about what I shared this week in my newsletters. So I had 3 newsletters that go out, one for career advice, one for small business advice, and one general life advice stuff. So for the career one, really important time of the year for those of you that are employees and preparing for your annual performance reviews. So my advice in that one, if you go to newsletter.invinciblecareer.com, is to start capturing your achievements for the year. And sometimes that's kind of hard to do because you forget, unless you've been really good about it and documenting everything that you've been doing. You often forget all the things you did, all the little things you did. And I had shared a story about how that bit me one year when I was a very young designer. And my manager had written a review and I hadn't really understood the importance of writing my own self-review. And I saw his review and it was about 50% of what I'd actually been working on all year, which is bad. So I said, oh, let me provide you with something. And so I rewrote it and I shared everything that I had been doing. He's like, wow, I had no idea. It's a bit of a lesson that I carried forward with me for the rest of my career, is to document everything. I kept a living document that I would add things to throughout the year. Positive feedback in emails and messages, from team members and from product owners, business owners, all that stuff, you name it. So you can do that. Hopefully, if you've already been wiser than I was, you've been doing that. If not, you can go through your calendar and your emails and your messages and your project folders and reconstruct it. I would guess you could use an AI tool to do this a lot easier now. That if you've given it access to your calendar and your documents and your messages, your inbox, it could construct a summary of all your achievements and your wins and things that you've accomplished throughout the year. And that'd be a really solid foundation for your self-review. Super important, get started on it early because a lot of people are getting their performance reviews usually in January, February of next year. Then in my Solopreneur newsletter, if you go to newsletter.invinciblesolopreneurs.com, clearing up a misconception, because I know I sometimes come on strong that I think everybody should quit their job and start a business and get going on it right away. And sometimes you do need to do that. Necessity is the mother of invention. So if you got laid off and you're having a hard time finding a job, sometimes you need to spin up a consulting business and do some consulting, contracting, advisory work. And I had something kind of like that happen when our entire company got laid off after an acquisition, and it was spin something up and start consulting, doing design work, and it turned into a business and kind of changed the course of my life from that point on. But other times, you're okay with your job and career and you don't want to be forced to quit. You don't want to have to panic and think about starting a business, and maybe it's something you're thinking about but you don't want to do it right now, and that's fine. And so what I was sharing in that newsletter was that I'm going to start a small trial with about 5 people in Q1 of next year, so starting January 26. Coaching people through the process of planning and designing and maybe doing some lightweight testing of a new business model, making sure it's the right business for you, that it fits who you are, what you want your life to be, your expertise, your background. So it's really about packaging up your talents and your knowledge and your strengths and your skills and all that work experience, almost like deconstructing the Lego pieces of your current career and reconstructing it into different types of businesses. So the whole idea is to plan something, and it's over a 3-month period, to create a very detailed business plan and model, looking at pricing, looking at ideal customers, looking at your offers, looking at how you would run the business day to day, to make sure it's something you would really enjoy. Because what I'm doing with this is helping people build what I call a lifestyle business. So it's kind of your second act. You could think of it as semi-retirement, whatever you want to think of. But getting that ready, getting it planned, having it all thought out, and having it set aside for the day that you are ready to quit, or you get a layoff that you weren't expecting, and now you got to do something quickly to make some money and bring in some income. Well, here you go. You have a business plan ready to go, and hopefully some of the systems set up so that you can actually get it up and running very quickly. I've done something like this for somebody. I did it in one day. I've done it a lot. So I've been building businesses since 99, 98. Back when it was really hard to do this and set up a website and systems and all that stuff. But now I've done it so many times, and it's a lot better with all the tools that are available that it's almost like a business in a box. And so I set it up for somebody with about a full day's work, had all of it up and running, the systems, so that they could have a website, have their offer, take payments, set up consulting calls, hooked into their calendar with everything they would need to kind of do it. So check it out. I think it's something. I already have one person signed up for it, so I have 4 seats left in January. But it's basically have a plan in your back pocket that you can put into action when you are ready to quit your job, or you get forced to quit, you get fired or laid off, and have this up and running so that you have this lifestyle business ready to go. And then the final newsletter, my life one, was a bit of a sad one. If you're familiar with Harry Chapin's song "Cats in the Cradle," it's a sad song. I could never listen to that without getting a little bit of a tear in my eye. Especially if you're a parent, you understand. But talking about now that my kids are grown, it's come full circle, that they are now busy with their lives and their jobs, careers, loved ones, friends, that they don't have as much time for me anymore, which is, it's kind of what I deserve after spending so many years in my career, not having a lot of time for them when they were young. So it's very much that song come to life. And so check that out at newsletter.invinciblelife.me. M-E. It's really just about thinking intentionally about what you're doing and finding ways to push back and keep some time free for your loved ones, for your kids, so that you don't end up in this situation where you have a lot of regret, and helping them build a future where they don't repeat the cycle with their own family. Because I think it's possible. I think it's possible to break that cycle. Anyway, that's it. 3 newsletters, career, business, and life. Check it out. You can always go to larrycornett.coach, which links to everything if that's easier for you to remember. Love to hear your comments. Send me feedback. And think about that business package that I'm going to be offering in January. If it's something you've been considering, quitting a job, starting your own business, but you're a little scared to just do it without a plan, well, that's the whole point of this. It's a plan that you can create now and be ready. Anyway, my ears are glowing really nice and red in the sun. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.